Welcome to the webinar series number 4, Navigating Operational and Strategic Transition Issues During Recovery. My name is Manzanal-Frank from Global Stakes Consulting. So today my premise is very simple, that we need to be prepared for eventual recovery. The new environment is totally different from pre-COVID, and that we have new realities that we haven't really looked at, we overlook in the past. These are opportunities, some of them are challenges and I would say problems, but a lot of them are emergent issues that we haven't really identified yet as both opportunity or a problem or a challenge. So join me today in half an hour conversation around these issues. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Manzanal-Frank. I'm a global impact expert based here in Canada and operating internationally. I work with nonprofits, governments, international organizations, deal with complex issues around their programming, their strategic partnerships, their engagement, their strategies, their business strategies and models in order to achieve more impact in the work that they do, either at the community level, at the national level, at the even at the international level. So I'm gonna share my screen today, and I'm gonna walk you through this process visual that I have made. I look at transition to strategy as a cone shape. It's a funnel shape, because in the funnel, everything has to be clearly sifted through. That means that the most important parts of the ingredients has to be first looked at and digested. There are three areas of transition within the organization. One is the operational side, second is the strategic side, and the third, I wasn't able to actually put a text on it, but I would like to put it as other issues that are undefined, whether it's both strategic or operational, or it's combined strategic operational, or it's a totally different animal that we haven't really identified yet because of the ambiguity of the situation. So I'm gonna first start with operational. What are these operational issues, from finance to fund development to programs to communications to working with your board, an executive team, governance, the whole gamut of operational issues that you need to have an operational plan. How do you restart your organization? And how do you do it in a way that it is sustainable, that you're not putting a lot of pressure on one dimension of the organization while the rest are scattered or underdeveloped or not functioning very well, and also some areas would have gaps on it and that you need to support them. The next dimension is strategic. What are you looking at in terms of your business model? Would your business model have changed radically or gradually in light of the new business environment? Are your product, services, your offerings, your mission, and your core values would have evolved differently? And what would that look like? Are you looking to have all the capabilities in place when you move to that new terrain? Are these something that you have to develop? Are there capacities internally that are already there that you really need to maximize? And are there specific gaps in human resources and talent that you really need to worked out in order that you can achieve those balance that you need to work towards the new future? And what are those others? Those are undefined issues at the moment that you don't feel like it's not operational enough, or it's not strategic enough, or it's both, or it's a different animal altogether that you can't put a label on. I think it's important that you also use the opportunity to reflect on those. This can be sort of a new opportunity or a new breakthrough in the marketplace that you want to maximize. It's something that it's about a new product, a new service, a new offering, or is a new market altogether that you want to tap. Or it could be just strengthening what you have at the moment and being more optimistic about the future. So those are the other issues, other things that are in the second, in the third circle within the basket. I would label them as transitional strategies because they come on board all the time if you're working in terms of the development of an organization and how you move towards growth, resiliency, or stability, or further market leadership, whatever that is in your case. I have here 7 operating principles to recovery strategy transition. One is that leading is better than hiding. A lot of people that I've talked to, CEOs, executive directors, marketing executives, they have are, they were very good with stability, making the new regime more acceptable, more manageable in that sense. They have tried their best to lead in a way that they can, but they're also uh, racked and anxious about risks around extending too much of themselves in this volatility and just basically fear. And I think that in this time when you really want to provide more support, more value, you need to be leading not based on fear but based on innovation. And that's the only way to deal with the complexity of the situation. Instead of hiding, you should be out there leading, um, creatively working out areas, where you need to provide more value. Then you need to provide more value. That's basically it. The second is you have to start with the most important. There are other areas where it doesn't actually matter. It's more a preference than a requirement. So you start with the principle. We start with the basic foundational areas of the work that you do. The rest will just have to fall into place once it's the structure, the system is in place. Third, you have to learn from the best practice. There are a lot of companies right now that are just milking the situation, not in a sense that they're very opportunistic and predatorily opportunistic, but they have maximized the opportunities presented to the best as they can, and they are winning in this situation, regardless of how everybody feels. Somebody is winning, and I think it's important that we need to learn from what is actually working in the same sector, in the same field, in the same kind of organizations that you have, and learn from them, ask them questions, get them to share what's been promising, what's been useful for them, and see if you can adapt it to your own advantage. There are many roads to Rome. I say this in the context of there are many approaches, there are many methods, there are many ways and plans, out there. You can just Google all of them. But it's important to understand that you have to be original. You have to start and work with what you have, with what your capabilities are, and the the the, the limitations of your resources and the constraints that you have at the moment. And it's important to be original. Not all the time that you can get something that works in other places and try to absorb it and try to integrate it. But they are fundamentally different from that organization. So it's important that you start from homegrown innovation, from homegrown examples of success. Well, you have to let the internal be externalized and let the external be internalized. What I'm saying is that whatever that is internally produced and was successful has to have a broader collective adaptation and integration. And whatever that's external out there, that's really good. You can bring it internally, and that it can be used by each of the members of the organization. So that's what I meant by having the internal be externalized and having the external be internalized as well. At this point, speed is relative. Speed to what? Speed to growth, speed to market leadership, speed to stability or resilience. It's up to you. There's nobody telling you that you need to speed up or accelerate. It's part of your own DNA as an organization. Are you the ones that are always leading and always, or are you the ones who are just following or just looking at signals from the market? Or are you those who just doesn't care? We're just working on what we have right now and be more introverted that way. So it's up to you. Speed is very relative at this point. And lastly, you have to build capacity as an investment for the future, whether you're looking towards growth or stability or great reputation for the organization, more fluency in terms of the work that you do inside, and helping your staff, your team members really cope with challenges. It's all part of your core value as an organization, and it's important that you build capacity, especially in this time where there's a lot of ambiguity in many areas, and that holding many things, juggling many things could be really difficult. So as practitioner, as a consultant, as advisor in this field, I urge you to really look at some of these issues that I have raised and let me know if there is an opportunity to discuss more, or if you have any questions that you can bring it to me and we can have a conversation either in person or in either one-to-one or in a group setting or in another webinar that I can respond to those questions. Well, I hope it's been beneficial to you. I have a lot of questions. If you'd like to engage with me and we can have a conversation with it. For now, thank you so much. I'll see you at the next webinar series, and stay safe and take care. Bye.